Hey beauties, welcome to Midday Motivation. I am Hope Knowles and I am here to get you motivated. We are a few days into February, which means we're a few days into Black History Month. So if you're not already following me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, go ahead and do it right now, because I'm going to be posting Black History facts every single day of the month. And I'm going to do different facts on each platform. So you want to make sure you're following me at Crystal Clear Hope on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so you can get all of those facts all month long and get up on your knowledge of Black history. In addition to this being Black History Month, this is an amazing time to take a self-assessment of where you are. We discussed earlier this year how most people would give up on the goals that they set at the beginning of the year before January 31st. If that's you, don't hold your head down in shame, but be honest and real about yourself and get back in that fight. Like, now is the time to adjust and start over and get back in there and do it again. Or maybe you've been following your plan, but you realize you need to adjust some things. Maybe something's not working. Go ahead and take that time to do it as well. Self-reflection is so important to your growth. If you can't assess where you are, you're not going to be able to grow. You're going to stay stagnant and stay in the same place. Now, we've all heard the term before, shoot your shot. It refers to taking a risk. Now, if you're standing at the free throw line and I shoot the ball, I know that I need to get the ball in the goal to get the point. That is what I'm trying to do. But if I miss, worst case scenario, I don't get the point. I may lose the game, but I get to play again. But what if you can't see the goal at the end? What if you don't know what's going to happen if you miss the shot? That unknown is so scary. So when you have to make those decisions and take those risks and you don't know what the outcome is going to be, it can be super scary. Some people are natural risk takers. Others may be in the middle like me. For instance, I'll jump out of an airplane, but if you ask me to take a risk with my money, baby, that's when I get all nervous. It's like, nope, I'm not really trying to do that, and I get scared. But the reality is, risks are a part of life. We're all going to have to take risk at some point. You're going to have to be willing to take that leap and jump out there and do it, because you need to take risk in order to grow. Risks are necessary, but they are scary. But what you need to do is remind yourself is that you serve a God who says that all things are working for your good. So even though you're going to take this risk, just rest in knowing that God's word is everlasting, it's never changing, and his word said he will make everything work for your good. So being able to just woosah. Okay, God, I don't know what I'm going to do, but whatever I do, I know, believe, and trust that you will make this work for my good. God uses us being uncomfortable to draw us closer to him. So you're able to be drawn closer to your Father in those seasons. I'm going to give you a couple of different things that you can do to help you get over your fear of taking risks. The first thing I want you to do is reflect on a time and a season in your life where God brought you through something, where you know it was nobody but God, and you had just completely surrendered. Like, God, if you don't help me get through this, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, you got to bring me through this. And just realize the same way he brought you through that situation in the past is the same way he'll bring you through this situation now. Take a look at your posture then. When you're really surrendered, you're going to pray more. You're going to read your word more. You're going to be more in faith. You're going to be tenacious, meaning if you were believing God for something to happen at 12 o'clock and it didn't, you still go believe it 1. You still go believe it 2, because you need it to come through. Like, there's no other choice but for God to come through in this situation. So you're going to keep believing. And you're probably praying fervently, meaning you're praying with passion. You have a passion inside of you, a fire inside of you when you're praying. Those are things that should be there all the time, though. Not just when your back is up against the wall and you've thrown your hands up in the air and surrender was like, I feel like I have no other choice but to trust God. You should trust God all the time. You should always have big faith. You should always be tenacious and not give up on the promises that he's given you. And you should also always be praying fervently and praying with passion and having your heart tied to the prayers that you're sending up to the Father. Those are things you should do all the time. The second thing I want you to do is ask yourself, what's the worst that can happen? Because most of the time you can figure out the worst case scenario, and a lot of the times that worst case scenario is not going to be as detrimental as you may think. So what's the worst that can happen? Play that situation out in your head and be able to get over it, so that you can step out and make the move, make the decision that you need to make. And this is something I'm having to apply to my life too. So don't think I'm sitting up here on my perch preaching to see you. Oh, no, baby. I'm walking through this too. Yes. I told you guys last week that I was gut punched with some news. Well, when I was, my emotions rose up. My flesh rose up. I started stressing out. I started worrying. But I recognized what was happening. I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I had my good girlfriends pray for me, and I reset. I reminded myself that I control my emotions, that they do not control me. So I was going to take ownership over the situation. In doing that, I changed my posture. And y'all, by the next day, I had 2 opportunities that were possible solutions to the problem that I was faced with. And I'm being vague on purpose because what's going on right now isn't public knowledge, so I can't really speak on it. So that's why I'm being vague, so I apologize for that. But I promise y'all, when this blessing comes through, I'm gonna tell you the whole story. But now I have these 2 opportunities, and they're both great opportunities, but it's like, which one do I choose? One isn't clearly right or wrong, but which one is best for me? And I'm in this season of silence from God, and not complete silence, semi-silence. Like, he's talking to me about the opportunities, but he's not giving me a clear left or right. Like, I need to know, which direction do you want me to go, Lord? And he's not telling me that. But what is so dope and so amazing about God, when I think about it, is how he's prepared me for this. For the last couple of weeks, I told you guys I've been listening to this song, Anthony Evans' Silence, and it's talking about that silent season. And I didn't fully grasp why God was having me listen to it, because I wasn't in a silent season. It was like, we talking all the time. And then he even had me do a midday motivation on it last week. Well, God knew that I was getting ready to be in that season, and I was going to need to apply those steps myself. And so that's what I'm having to do while I'm walking through this silent season. And so I had to ask myself with these 2 opportunities, well, if you choose wrong, what's the worst that can happen? And then I allowed myself to reflect on one of the darkest time periods in my life and how God brought me through. And so these opportunities that I'm faced with are nothing compared to that situation. So if God could bring me through that, then he'll also bring me through this. And I don't have to worry. I don't have to be concerned. Those of you that follow me regularly, you know that I'm also in the middle of buying a home, and I've been looking for a house. I've seen so many houses, but I have yet to find that one. So last Wednesday, I was out looking for houses. And I had looked at 2, and I was on my way to look at the 3rd one, and I was just praying, and I was like, God, please let me know the second I walk through the door if this is a house for me. So when I walked in the house, I was like, I really like it, and I looked at it, and after we did the tour, I was standing out talking to my realtor, and I was like, I think this may be the house for me. And she's like, yay. I said, I think I may want to put an offer on. And so as we were driving through the park out of the subdivision, I was praying, and I asked God, I was like, let me know if this is a house for me, or if I should put an offer down. And I heard God tell me to go ahead and put that offer down. And I was like, okay. So I got all excited. I told my friends, told everybody at church, I found the house, I put the offer, pray I get it. And y'all, the next morning I woke up to, you didn't get the house. And then it had me feeling some kind of way, because it was like, I did what you told me to do, God. I know you told me to put the offer down on this house, and I'm not understanding why I didn't get it, and what, like, give me some understanding, because I feel sad. I had to even tell myself, I control my emotions don't control me, and make a deliberate choice to get out of that sad place, because I was sad by the situation. It was like, man, I feel really sad. But during my prayer and reflection, I discovered that I asked God if I should make an offer on the house, and he said yes. I had also asked God to let me know the second I walked through the door if that was the house for me. And the second I walked through the door of that house, I didn't have that feeling. It was once I walked around there and looked, I was like, oh yeah, this has some great things. But I didn't have that feeling the second I walked in where God said, this is your home. So what I prayed for, he had not yet given me. And I now understand that I had to go through that offer process for experience. I've never purchased a home before. So I didn't know what the offer letter looked like. I didn't know what that process was like. So now I've gone through that process, and I've walked through it. So I was able to gain knowledge through that experience. There's always going to be times in life where we're faced with situations where we have to make decisions, and we aren't sure which decision to make. We may not even be sure of the outcome. That's part of walking in our purpose, because in order to fulfill your purpose, you're going to be put in some uncomfortable situations sometimes. If I'm out here saying I'm going to walk in my purpose, with purpose, on purpose, there are going to be decisions that I need to make when I don't know the outcome. There's going to be times when I have to truly lean and depend on God. And that's okay. That's when you dig deep. That's when you do that. That's when you say, God, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't understand, but I know you brought me out of XYZ situation. And the same way you brought me out of the situation of when I lost everything, you'll bring me out of this situation. So I'm trusting you, God. I'm leaning on you. I'm making the choice to stay positive and stay full of joy and faith and not allow myself to be moved by any circumstance or situation. Now, if you know someone who has a difficult time making decisions, or maybe they're faced with a situation and they don't know which way to go, and you think this message can help them, go ahead and hit share. Share it with them for me, so that they can get that knowledge and information as well. And if you're not following me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, go ahead and do that. You don't want to miss your Black History facts or the beauty tips or the positive inspiration and everything that I share on my social media. And you can follow me at Crystal Clear Hope. And finally, if you are not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to the Crystal Clear Hope channel. And while you're there, click that bell, because that's the only way you can guarantee that YouTube will send you notifications when I post new content. I love you so much. I want you to have an amazing day. Remember, no matter what happens, you can and you will get through it, because you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. I am Hope Knowles. This has been your Midday Motivation, and I will catch you on Friday at our next Midday Motivation. You have a great day. Bye.